circling back to the kind of the tenet that you described, say yes unless you have a reason not to.
A good reason.
A good reason
A
not
good
to. Yeah,
reason.
right. So, one reason that I could imagine is debatable is the idea of having one's own personal space / personal ambition. Did that ever come up as a reason to or not to? Like was it clear from everybody of the core group from the beginning that that personal identity ambition track was not a compelling reason to not do something? Does that make sense?
It was a major problem we worked on day in and day out. I mean, the whole business of rivalry and status, etc. We made a distinction between competition and rivalry.
Okay.
Competition is for limited resources, and that's a given. I mean, people have interests, there's limited resource, there'll be conflict, and people will compete.
Yeah.
It doesn't turn into the winner take all, but anyway, rivalry, status, all of that stuff. That was what we worked on.
Mm-hmm.
We came together to live together to deal with whatever comes up, and all of us have embodied what everybody else has embodied through in our culture in their unique and various forms. And it was all there, and we were trying to deal with it as best as we could, and that was the research work.
Yeah.
How can people talk about the problems? Because they don't talk about the problems, you're going to have hierarchy. I mean, not hierarchy, you're going to have domination.
Yeah.
Right.
Hierarchy is something we built into the project from the very beginning, in the sense of what we call a participatory management system. So all the work is broken up into specific areas. Julie is in charge of the housing things. Richard is maintenance, and the person in the manager in the area makes the final decision. But anything that's important, that has to be done with consultation. So we meet 5 days a week for an hour or so to deal with whatever needs to be dealt with. So there's completely ample time for people to bring up the issues that are going to really have large impact. But the discussion, the debates, et cetera, that ever happen, the manager makes the decision, not the group.
Oh, wow.
We when the hurricane came, Sandy, the roof of that house was damaged, so it had to be replaced. And so there was a bunch of people went in and started doing the research. They got this and that, and we were discussing these pros and cons, and it got down to two choices. And there were very strong advocates for both choices, and we were in the middle of this long, this is like the 8th or 9th intense discussion that we had, and it was going on, and it was still back and forth, and finally Richard said, okay, that's it. I've made my decision. We're going with this one.
Wow.
Oh, okay. And we moved on.
How many years in did it take you to implement that managerial top-down, or was that from Jump Street?
Not top down.
Or well, I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah.
It's really, really important.
Yeah.
Because everybody thinks hierarchy means top down.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
No, the manager is appointed by the group.
Yeah.
The manager makes the decision in the area of work, not everywhere, okay? But they have to consult, and they have to hear and listen. It's not just okay. I'm consulting. Go ahead.
Right.
Right.
You know, then they get fired.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, the consult is consult.
Right.
You're really looking to get new information
Yeah.
that you don't have.
Yeah.
Okay? And then the other thing is that most of the decisions that Richard has to make affects Julie.
Uh-huh.
So there's a balancing factor that
Yeah.
goes on.
So you did use a phrase
So it's
at the
not
beginning.
top-down.
Yeah, what was the phrase that you had referred to it as?
It was participatory management.
Participatory management. Okay, cool. And how far into, from July 1st, 1980, did that system get established?
In a way, you can say it's still getting established.
Yeah.
I mean, all of this stuff that really generates the problems that we really can't solve, it's all been very deeply embedded.
Yeah.
And so it's been a whole. The project is what I call transformative learning.
Mm-hmm.
You are able to actually identify what you've embodied and what it means and what the implications are. You don't get it here. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most powerful experiences I had was because I was born and raised in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So I came with a lot of rivalries. And this was some 15 years down the road, and I'm walking down the street, walking home from the ferry, and this had been really preoccupied with this for, a particular aspect of it for, several weeks or something like that. And then I just fucking got it. My drive to be superior means I am disvaluing the other person. That's what this is about.
Mm-hmm.
It's downright nasty and mean and destructive. And it took 15 years of work
Right.
to really, really get it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I have it embodied and I bought into it, and it's because it serves me,
Yeah.
or I'm convinced it serves me.
Yeah.
And there is an enormous amount of stuff that's got to go on within us in order to get to the point to where you can really say, no, I'm not going to, that's not going to be one of my values anymore.
Yeah.
But it doesn't go away.
Right.
You've just changed your relationship to it,
Right.
and you've got something else, and slowly that becomes weaker and this becomes stronger.
Yeah. Yeah. And particularly pursuing the life path that you have, the rivalry system is just a further and further disservice. It's really impeding your ability to value this system.
Right.
Yeah.
And we've had just major. At this point, the change the world energy has calmed down quite a bit.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Around 2000, there was a real shift, and people said, "Look, this has been phenomenal. I want to keep it, but also want this because most of the people were in their 20s when we started the core group. Mildred was in her 50s and I was 40, so. But it was like, there's other stuff out there I want to get into. I want to have a baby, or what have you. And all of that stuff was stuff that we had been putting off.
Yeah.
And then, over the last 10 or 15 years, there's just been a lot of settling, getting older, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But, what we developed and embodied in that first 20 years it's substantial. It doesn't go away.